Hello, everybody. We are back with Journey of Self, and I am so excited for our guest today. She has an amazing story, and she has had quite the journey recently. And because of that, I just had to get her on here so that she could share her journey that has guided her from what was going on when we first met to where she is now. And I'm going to start it off like this. A friend of mine had posted something on Facebook, and I responded with, yes, my absolute favorite thing to say to my students was, there are lots of reasons. None of them are good excuses. So that's where we're going to go today. What do you think about that, Lee?
Absolutely. And I needed to hear it so badly. There was a project that I need to get done, and I had put it off and put it off, and I was beating myself up over it and feeling like I was letting myself down and letting a couple of other people down at the same time. And when I listened to that, I went, oh my gosh, I'm being dumb. This is my problem. And I need to just stop it, and I need to stop focusing on beating myself up, and I need to focus on just get in there and do the project.
Right.
And
You were spending all this energy on beating yourself up. Do you value that? Do you like to beat yourself up?
certainly not.
Right. So that's not a value that you have. But is that project something that you value, that you hold high in value?
Yes, it is. Yes.
It is. So because you hold that project high in value, it caused some guilt not getting it done.
A lot of guilt.
A lot of guilt. And then, sometimes we can feel guilty about things that we don't value, and that's what I love about guilt. It can really help us see and understand our priorities. So when we feel guilty about something, we say, okay, I'm feeling guilty, which means I value something. So then we look at whatever that something is. For example, I feel guilty if I don't go out and take a walk. Okay, if I don't get some form of physical activity during the day, I feel really guilty. Why? Because I value my health. Since I value my health, I want to go for a walk. And if I don't go for a walk, then I feel guilty because I went against my own values. So when I do feel guilty, I had to look at myself and say, well, do I feel guilty because I'm not doing something that I care about? Or do I feel guilty because I'm not doing something that other people place value on?
Exactly.
And then that helps me realize my priorities. If I feel guilty because it's something that other people place value on and I don't give a shit about it, whatever. If I feel guilty because I don't put makeup on my face, that's not my personal value. For some people, it is their personal value, and if that is, then that's great. For me, it's not. And so if I feel guilty that I don't put makeup on my face, then I am expending energy on other people rather than myself. So it sounds like you have something that you highly valued for yourself.
Yes.
And so you felt guilty, and then you're beating yourself up. You had to stop and question and say, whoa, which do I value more? Beating myself up or doing this project?
And the energy that you spend beating yourself up is energy that you can use to do your project or whatever it is that you're feeling guilty about.
And it feels a whole hell of a lot better.
Exactly.
It takes a lot more energy to do something that you don't value than it does to do something that you do.
Right.
Absolutely.
I knew I had a stumbling block and kind of essentially a writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. How do you get over that? You just sit down and you just start doing. You start working on it, and the block is going to go away. You're gonna produce. And that's what I did. I sat down. I was like, stop being an idiot. Do it. Get it done. And all of a sudden, the light came on, and the project's not finished, but it's moving. It's moving in the right direction. And I feel so much better. And I was like, I had it in my planner, and I ignored my planner.
You ignored your planner.
I did.
Girl,
I
Okay.
did.
Okay. So now tell us, because I really do want everybody to hear your story, and I do try to keep these things, where they're not 45 minutes long, even though they all could be. So
Right.
the Lee who I met a couple years ago is not the same Lee who is sitting here in front of me today. So tell us who you used to be.
Oh, I was a mess. I was sick. I was really sick.
You were really
I,
sick.
I was. I was. So I had just a plethora of illnesses, and I was allowing them to control my life. Um, my, and even my attitude, I was like, felt like I am sick. So
I equal sick.
yes, exactly. So I was taking on all of my diseases. Okay, I have a disease. I am not a disease.
Right.
So, but I mean, because you know that I had gotten so sick that I had to use a cane. I had to use a wheelchair if I was going to go a long distance.
And
And
long distance, by long distance, you don't even mean what would be long distance for you now. You just mean if I was going to go any distance.
if I was going to go grocery shopping, that was too much of a distance.
Right.
In fact, I did not go to any store that did not have the little electric wheelchair cart thingies. I had gotten a manual wheelchair, and I was in the process of, I had done all the research and was getting ready to buy a motorized wheelchair. I really thought that's it. I am going to be in a wheelchair the rest of my life. So because I love to go to county fairs and craft shows and all of that. And sometimes they're out in the grass. I live in Kansas, so you got to go in fields. So I was searching for that one that was going to be all terrain. So if I wanted to go to the mall, it'll take you to the mall. If I wanted to go outside and go to a fair that happened to be in somebody's farm, it would do that. And I had actually picked out the chair, and I was in the process of saving up the down payment for it because we were ordering it. I mean, it was
Right.
either,
And those cost about the same as a small used car.
heck yeah, they do. Yep.
Because that's basically what they are.
Well, they are. And we had talked, I picked out the color and the features and just like a new car. And I was like, and I thought, well, if I'm going to be wheelchair bound, well, then I might as well get a pretty one that I like. And that was it, and it limited me in a lot of ways.
Are you
And
sitting in a wheelchair right now?
certainly not. This is an office chair.
That's an office chair.
That's an
I
office
don't remember you having an office when we met.
Yeah. See?
Oh,
Stan.
okay.
Well,
So tell us what happened.
well, um, among my illnesses, I also have fibromyalgia, and a good friend of mine had fibromyalgia, and we would spend a lot of the days laying on our couches or easy chairs and texting each other. And I saw her get involved in something. I wasn't sure what it was, didn't really matter until I started seeing her smile more often. And then she started traveling. And I said, hold up. You have fibro. I have fibro. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So she introduced me to a product called Herbalife. Well, I was really super skeptical. And at the time, I was having to get iron infusions 4 times a year minimally. And that would take a month out of my life to do that because it would be one a week for 4 weeks and it would just knock me out. I was just useless, just sleep for those 4 weeks pretty much. And so I said, oh, my body doesn't absorb things. This is silly. And I
Right.
thought,
I'm sick. It's not going to work.
exactly. But I looked at her and I was like, she's up walking around, she's up doing things, she's smiling, she's traveling. So I went in on my cane, and I mean, I could barely climb up on the bar stool in this nutrition club. And I was like, well, let's try it. So I had a shake and a tea, and oh my gosh, they tasted amazing. And I looked at her and I said, you're telling me that you're drinking this stuff and you're feeling better. What's the catch? And she said, no, there's no catch. Um, there's a disclaimer. So the product is Herbalife, and Herbalife does not claim to cure, treat, diagnose, or prevent any disease or illness. But when you feed the body the proper nutrition that it needs, it has the miraculous ability to start curing itself. Still skeptical.
And this is where I'm going to jump in here, because not only have I seen that from you, and I'm not an Herbalife salesman or anything like that. So I am just sharing your amazing journey because I have seen it with my own eyes, and it's been amazing. And something that I absolutely love is I have watched everything that you believe and think about nutrition change.
Oh, yes.
And even more than that, you have gone from feeding your disease, basically, with all this negativity around you going, I am sick, woe is me, to feeding your mind, your body, and your soul.
Absolutely.
So you
Absolutely.
didn't just have a shift of, there's a big shift here. And that's what I want people to see when they see this is you have changed a lot in order to be happy and healthy today.
I have. I was really not really not happy with myself. I was, unhealthy. I wondered, did I do this to myself?
Self-blame, man. No fun.
And a lot of what I have is hereditary. I have rheumatoid arthritis. A lot of people have it. It's passed down in my family. But I have, a bunch of things that are just stacked on top of each other. And I just went, but then I watched my mom die. And I watched my mom just give up. She'd had a stroke. And she pulled me aside before she passed. She said, do you know how old I am? I said, of course I do. And she said, do you know how old my mother was when she died? And I said, no, same age. She says, well, do you know how old my grandmother was when she died? And I said, no, same age. And I said, Mom, okay, that was generations ago, and there's so much research. You can break that cycle. You don't have to die. You can make a choice. Well, she made a choice, and she chose to go ahead and give up, and she died. And that, and watching my friend start to feel so much better, made me think, well, how can I change myself? What do I need to do? I'm not following my mom's footsteps.
And break that cycle, that generational cycle.
Exactly. So, all right. I actually joined a challenge. I got these great tasting shakes, got some teas, some aloe, and they taste good, and they're formulated very carefully, and they're giving you the nutrition you need. So at first I didn't even change my diet other than just drinking the shakes and teas. And there was a 21-day shake challenge. So I've learned several things about myself, and a challenge motivates me. Doesn't motivate everybody, but it motivated me. And the 21-day shake challenge, you are really only challenging yourself. And all you do is you drink a shake for 21 days and you just post about it on Facebook and tag your coach and a couple other people. So I was like, well, I can do that. I'll give this 21 days and I'll see how I feel. So I had zero commitment other than gonna do this. I'm gonna win a prize at the end if I do it every day. I'll try it. So sitting in my chair and I'm drinking my drinks and I'm not doing a whole lot else in my life at that moment. But I needed to come down to my office to get something. And I had music on. I was listening to Michael Jackson. And at one point, I realized that I was actually dancing down the hall and didn't even have my cane with me. And I went, oh, whoa, hey, wait, what's this? What happened? And I was like, I'm walking without my cane. Oh my gosh. So actually, they were going to give us extra points. We were winning tickets for doing different things. And she said, you're going to get extra tickets for the most creative post. So I got to thinking about it, and I put Taylor Swift on my TV singing Shake It Off. And I'm dancing and drinking my shake. And I'm saying, hey, look, I am shaking it off. And I felt so incredibly good. And then not only did I start to feel better and start to be able to move more. And by the way, when I first started, my coach said, we need to get you moving. And I said,
I can't.
Right, I can't. I said, I'm in a wheelchair. I can't do anything. And she goes, you can't do anything? I said, well, no. And she said, well, I've seen you in your chair. You use your arms and you push your manual chair. So could you maybe just do something to move your arms? And I said, yeah, I could do that. And so she started talking and encouraging me. And so I YouTubed some things. And so at first I did seated Tai Chi. And
yes, so good.
I love Tai Chi. Oh my gosh.
It's meditation. It's
yes.
movement meditation, and that changes the structure of your brain.
And it's just, oh, it's soothing. It's just, I love it. I don't do seated Tai Chi anymore because I don't need to do it seated.
Now, recently you've done a walk. What's the biggest like race or walk or whatever that you've done all at once?
Oh, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess it was 3 weeks ago now, I walked 11.11 miles.
Holy cow.
Yes.
Holy cow.
No assistance. It was another challenge. It was a month-long walk to raise funds to help a local town.
But you didn't do the 11 miles in the month. You did that like in a day.
One day. Yeah,
okay,
I
guys.
have my stats.
Guys, I just want to keep telling Lee's story, okay? I really, really, really do. But you're going to have to get on her page or something like that to follow her, or contact her, or contact me, or whatever, because Lee, she's inspirational. We did not get on here. We did not want to get on here and say, hey, everybody, join up and do Herbalife. That happens to be something that is working for Lee. And of course, now Lee is a coach, and sharing that and helping people as well. And I would say, just from what I've experienced, a lot of the coaching that you're doing is that personal development.
Yes.
That is so important. I know that the company has been a big thing. You and I talk a lot about personal development, and you know, you are great at taking recommendations. So if you guys have recommendations for personal development, put it down below so we can share, please. Maybe you've written something that you think is good. Put it down below so that we can share. So I just want to say, whether it's Herbalife or whatever, this is this over here is an example of life changing. This is an attitude change. This is I am not going to allow this to happen in my life.
Exactly. I still have RA. I still have many, but not all, of my diseases. I have chronic kidney disease, and I just saw my kidney doctor a couple of weeks ago, and he said, you know, when you and I first met, he said, you were at the top of stage 4. When you hit stage 5, you are going into dialysis, maybe kidney transplant. He'd already told me that because of all my other stuff, I was not a candidate for transplant. And I went, dialysis? Oh God, how do I avoid that? And he didn't have any answers. He said, well, just, be careful, watch your diet, take these pills, keep your blood pressure down, and keep your diabetes under control. And hey, we're going to be doing dialysis here soon. Okay.
Because at that point, he didn't believe that you could do anything else because you hadn't.
Well, and part of my not having was I really didn't know.
Yep.
I didn't know. And I had seen people that get super into health food, and I'd always thought, I wish I could feel that way, but if I can only eat foods that I can buy at Whole Foods, it's good. But oh my gosh, it's way more expensive. I can't afford that, especially since I couldn't work, and I went through a lot. What I have learned is, you don't have to do that. You don't have to make such a drastic change. You want to eat cake, eat cake. Don't eat the whole cake. Eat a piece of cake and be happy.
And be conscious about it.
Yes.
Make a conscious, mindful decision. And you've been doing that. That's one of the big things that I have seen with you is mindful decisions on everything you do.
Yes. And it's wonderful. I feel better. I feel more control of myself and my life. I have less stress. And by the way, when my kidney doctor had said that, he always asked me at the end of our consultation, do you have any questions? And the one question that I love to ask is, what stage am I in? And the last time I had asked him, I was in stage 3A. Stage 3 has A, B, and C substages. And he said, stage 3A is fine. There are millions of people walking around in stage 3A and they don't even know it. Mm-hmm. You can live happy and healthy the rest of your life in stage 3A. But when I sat down with him last time, he said, wow, your blood values are even better. I am no longer on any diabetes medication because I don't need it anymore. Diet, exercise, and I found I love to walk. I tried Zumba. Zumba tried to kill me.
But you tried it.
I did try it. I enjoyed it, but I am not physically ready to do it. I just was like, the next day. But I have other things that I do.
Absolutely.
So I walk. I love to walk. I walk daily. If it's gross outside, I won a challenge. I won the money. I took that money and bought a treadmill with it. So awesome. I'm walking.
And so what was your stage?
I'm now in stage 2.
Woo! And that's just it. You're going to have kidney disease. It's not going to completely go away.
Nope.
But that's amazing. From 4 to 3 to 2, happy, healthy.
You know what he said? He said, so when you were at stage 4, there was some damage to your kidneys. And he said, unfortunately, some of that tissue dies and it does not regenerate. And
Right.
he said, you will always have a small amount of chronic kidney disease. It's pretty much undetectable now. And at the start of COVID, I came down with a fever. Because of my kidney disease, when I come down with a fever, my protocol is to go into the emergency room and get a bag of fluids, because if I become dehydrated, my kidneys shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had complete kidney failure more than once. No, thank you. So here I've got this fever, and I'm like, I went into the emergency room and I said, you know, I am not here because I'm panicked or paranoid. You know, this is what's going on. This is my kidney doctor, and this is my protocol. They said, fine. So they gave me the bag of fluids, and they tested my blood and urine, and the doctor came in and said, if you hadn't said that you had CKD, which is chronic kidney disease, she said, I wouldn't have thought that. And she said, I just want to ask you, are you sure you have it? So I told her my nephrologist's name, and she said, well, yeah, I see in the system that you see him. And she said, but your values are great. And I said, that's because I have shifted my focus, and um, I have a disease, but the disease doesn't have me. And so there are diseases that once you get that diagnosis, you have that diagnosis the rest of your life. Well, okay, fine. It is what it is. Then there are some others that you have that you could get rid of, and I'm doing that. And the more I do that, the happier and healthier I feel.
That's awesome. I'm
And
going to stop you for just a second. Hey, guys, remember what I said. I know I'm pointing at you like this because I'm excited. Contact us, okay? Feel free. I'll put all of Lee's information down below so that you can get in there and contact her if you would like to. If you have any questions for her, please feel free to contact her, contact me, whatever. Give us your recommendations, and we will go ahead and see you later.
bye.